I know that due to my previous video, inevitably, because this always happens, inevitably someone is going to bring up all the dictators that the United States has supported throughout its history, especially in the Americas. That seems to be a real sore spot for a lot of people. And they're going to use that as evidence that the U.S. is not really any better than anyone else. They're only better, if anything, on a domestic level inside their own country. Internationally, they don't give a shit about freedom, they don't care about other people, and therefore it's fine if we side with China because China won't do that or something. This argument is total bullshit because the Chinese will never protect any democracy as a democracy. They will never do it. Democracy is an inherent threat to their system. If they push a country in any direction, it will be towards totalitarianism. It will not be away from it, ever. At least with the United States, there is the possibility that it will push them away from it. Not necessarily, but there is at least a possibility. With the Chinese, there is none. And anyone who tells you otherwise is simply so offended by perhaps an American intervention in their country, for instance. This happens a lot in Latin America or in Iraq, that they're really just anti-American. And they don't really care about, like, the perpetuation of, freedom or democracy or anything. Really, they've just become anti-American, and they will oppose the United States and side with their enemies, regardless of who their enemies are and regardless of what their enemies support. And I don't find that to be a principled stance, so I reject it out of hand. And if you decide to side with the Chinese out of spite for the Americans, well, I'm sorry, but I have no choice but to regard you as an enemy, even if it's understandable why you might be bitter towards them, because at the end of the day, as a Democrat, there is no way that I can support China or its influence, and I can't do it. So if you side with them, you're my enemy. Period.